In today's episode of Inside the Vault, we're talking fakes. More importantly, how to protect yourself from purchasing fakes and ensuring that the precious metals that you own are real. We've got a bunch of toys here in front of us. I'm going to show you how we use them to assure that your precious metals are what you expected them to be. So let's get started. One of the things that we're asked most often here at SWP is, how do I know what I'm buying is real? And should I be concerned about fakes? Generally speaking, I don't think that clients or precious metal investors should be overly concerned about fake products on the market. We haven't seen too many instances of fakes over the last decade or so. However, that being said, there has been an increase of fake products available on websites such as Alibaba that are produced in Asia and then trying to find their way into the North American and European spaces. It's something that we all take very seriously. Today I'm going to give you some practical advice on how you can assure yourself that you're not going to be receiving any fake products. You'll want to make sure that you're buying your product from a reputable precious metals dealer. That's the best advice I can actually give you. It sounds very simplistic, but it makes a lot of sense. Make sure that that dealer is sourcing their product either directly from a mint or a refinery, or from a distributor of the mint or refinery. That way you can be assured that when you're purchasing precious metals from them, it's coming straight from the source. That's going to eliminate a lot of the problems right off the bat. Of course, the mints and refineries take this issue very, very seriously. When a product is counterfeited, it's their brand that's actually being counterfeited. So of course they want to try to protect their brand and ensure that the investors are getting the products that they actually expect to be receiving when they pay for them. We're seeing the mints invest a lot of money in anti-counterfeiting technology. Some of the examples, and we're going to talk a lot more about this in detail in a future episode, but some of the examples that we're seeing, for example, the Royal Canadian Mint has introduced on every gold maple leaf that they produced micro-engraved security marks, which we see right here. They've also got radial lines, which are probably hard to pick up, but they're very distinct lines in the background of the coin. Again, a feature very hard for counterfeiters to reproduce. This is all part of their Boolean DNA anti-counterfeiting technology. Now, here are some of the things that we do inside the vault to assure against fakes, to assure that our clients' products are not fakes. You can also do these things at home if you're willing to invest in the equipment. Basically, we conduct a series of different tests. Individually, they're not all perfect, but when you put them in sequence and you run through it, it reduces the odds of fakes or counterfeits dramatically. Of course, the first thing we do is we purchase from reputable sources, again, directly from mints or refineries, or from distributors of those mints or refineries. That's going to reduce a lot of the problems, as I mentioned earlier. As for the testing itself, let's get started. So when a product arrives here at the vault, the first thing that we do after obviously counting and opening the product up under CCTV camera is we do a visual inspection. Now, this doesn't assure that the metal is pure, but it is the first thing that we're going to look for just in case something looks off. And to a trained professional eye that's seen precious metals for a number of years and thousands of different products flow through the vault, that can be a good starting point. So I'd recommend you do the same. If you receive a product at home and something doesn't quite look right to you, maybe you want to take a closer look and you're going to want to run some other tests. So take a close look at the product, especially with the newer stuff that's on the market. You've got those security marks on the coins now and on some bars. Take a close look at the packaging of the bars as well. So when I'm looking at a product doing my visual inspection, I'm looking for things like the detail of the font. I'm looking for the security marks on the coin. I might look at the edges to make sure they're nice and clean. There's nothing odd about that. Obviously, the more traditional elements of the coin. And you'd be surprised, counterfeiting coins and bars is actually a pretty difficult undertaking. So they've got to invest in a lot of machinery and really nail it, because the mints are putting out some great products. When I'm looking at bars, I'm going to be looking for things that are associated with the packaging, especially for these smaller 1 ounce products that come in credit card packaging. It's quite typical now. And one of the reasons the mints do this is because, again, they're trying to reduce the amount of counterfeiting. So I'm looking at the quality of the printing, of the fonts, of the actual packaging itself, because the mints are doing it at a very high standard, and they've got some security marks on there, some identifiers on the packaging. Those are the things I'm going to be looking at. If anything looks off, I'm definitely going to want to take a closer look at this product. Now, nothing to do with visual testing is conclusive, but like I said, it's a starting point. And we're going to get into some more testing that's a little bit more conclusive. The next thing that we do when it comes to testing products, and you can do this at home, is we use an accurate scale to do some weight testing. Now again, it's not a conclusive test, it's only giving us indications. We're looking for specific numbers because we know how much these products are supposed to weigh. If the product were to be counterfeit, it would either weigh more, it would weigh too much, or it would weigh too little. So here we've got a pretty decent scale that we use for smaller products, has very accurate readings. And we're gonna just weigh this 1 ounce gold maple leaf coin. I know how many grams I'm looking for. When you speak to the mints, you know that they will never put out a product that weighs less than what it's supposed to. That's the last thing the mints want, is a product that contains less gold than it's supposed to, or less weight. So if anything, it's going to be slightly over. And in this case, this product weighed in at 1.005 troy ounces. So it's stated to weigh 1 troy ounce, and it weighs 1.005. That extra 0.005 is probably the mint making sure that their product is just above what it's supposed to be. Again, the last thing they want it is for it to be just below. So in my mind, I'm happy with that. That's a perfect weight. Next, we're going to be weighing a 1 kilo gold bar. Now I'm expecting this bar to weigh exactly 32.15 troy ounces. It's a valuable piece, so we're going to want to make sure that the weight is accurate. And as expected, exactly 32.15 troy ounces. So again, a weight test is not a perfect indicator that the product is pure, but it's another indication, and it's more information that we have. We've done our visual test, we've done our weight test so far, 2 for 2. Now we're going to move on to more conclusive, non-destructive testing on these products. The third test that we conduct here in the vault is a density test. Each type of metal and purity of metal has a unique density. So we're going to use a device here to verify that the density of, in this case, a gold coin is as expected. So we're just going to take this device here. I've already got it turned on. You have different purities that you can test for. In this case, we're testing for 3/9 gold plus, which should match up with our gold maple leaf here. So I'm going to place the coin on, and I'm expecting the reading to be within a certain tolerance. In this case, it is within that tolerance. And so I'm happy. I can test the other side of the coin as well, just to make sure that there's no variable there. Again, good. And if I were to take, for example, this US quarter and put it on the machine under the same settings as I used for the gold maple leaf, I'll then see that it's outside of the expected result. So if I had, for example, a fake coin or a coin that contains something other than pure gold, it would be outside of the tolerances. That would be flagged, and then we'd conduct even further testing on that flagged item. So the final step that we use here at SWP for non-destructive testing is a device that will test the metal's reaction to magnetism. Each element on the periodic table has a unique reaction to magnetism. So this device, again, with some certain settings in place and expected results that we can compare against, will tell us whether something is pure silver, pure gold, or contains alloys. Now, it contains a very powerful magnet. So if you are going to use a device like this, you're going to want to keep laptops away from it, any watches that contain a lot of metal away from the device. So the first thing I'm going to do is test a 1 ounce gold coin, which we've been testing already. Now this coin is 3 for 3, so I'm not particularly concerned about it, but I want to make sure that it has no a strong magnetic pull. It should not, because it's pure gold, so it won't have a strong magnetic pull. It doesn't physically. And then I'm going to be looking at the readings that the device gives me, and it's within, again, the tolerance levels that I'm expecting for the pure gold's reaction to the magnetism. So this coin, in my mind, has passed all the tests, and I'm satisfied with that. Now, this device is also very handy for dealers, and it could be for you as well, because you can test thicker bars. That's one of the problems with some of these smaller devices, is that they can't necessarily test very dense or thick material. So we're going to want to go ahead and now test some bigger bars. For example, a kilo gold bar, which people are often concerned about having to melt down in the case that they want to sell them. So again, we're going to place the bar here, and we know what the expected output is. And again, it's well within the tolerance range. So we're happy with that. We can even do a large 100 ounce silver bar. Now we can get even thicker than this. but for today's display, we're gonna go with the 100-ounce silver bar. Silver is gonna have a different reading than gold because again, it's a different element, so it has a different reaction to the magnetism. It's within the tolerance level. And now we're gonna show you what happens when we test something that's non-precious. So again, we've got our pure gold coin here. We see what the reaction is. There's no magnetic pull. The magnet is not pulling the gold coin down towards it. It's actually repulsing the precious metals. And we've got a reading accordingly. But if we place an item that has alloy in it, it's going to be strongly attracted to the magnet. It stands it up right on its side. You can see there, it's interesting. And it gives us a reading that the magnet is strongly pulling those alloyed metals towards it. So you've got a very strong difference between your pure gold coins and the non-pure items that we have here. If you think that you've received a fake product, what I recommend you do is first of all contact the precious metals dealer whom you purchased the product from. If they're a reputable dealer, which you should be buying from in the first place, they shouldn't have a problem exchanging that product for you or at least providing a free testing service. It's in their best interest to make sure that they're not selling fake product into the market. If they don't collaborate, the next thing you're going to want to consider doing is contacting the police. Fake products like this is considered fraud. It's a very serious crime and all of us in the industry want to see it disappear completely. So if you can't get resolved from the precious metals dealer, feel free to contact the police. I really enjoyed sharing this information with you today. It's such an important topic to us that are in the industry. Obviously, we want to see all fakes disappear now. Unfortunately, it's a reality that we all have to live with. So I do recommend, of course, that number one, you purchase from a reputable precious metals dealer, someone that's buying directly from the mints or refiners. If you want to do any of these tests at home and you need more information about the devices, please feel free to email us. You can tweet me, or of course, SWP is happy to do this testing for you. I'm Mark Yaxley. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again next time inside the vault.